The fuck?
All right. It's literally a fruit fly.
You see it?
Yeah, I could barely see it, so it's shadow.
Yeah, it's walking on me. I don't have the heart to kill it. Do you?
Yeah.
Sociopath.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Son of a Boy Dad podcast. Today is Memorial Day.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of those who have served our amazing country, all of those who have fallen, all of those who continue to serve. We are so grateful, and your sacrifice allows us to live in this kind of bubble where we care about, our ranking in Call of Duty, and we sort of mimic the amazing things that you guys do and get very uptight about it.
No, I wouldn't say that at all.
Oh, you don't think they're heroic?
No, I don't think that anyone that's playing Call of Duty thinks they're mimicking military U.S. soldiers.
Cosplaying?
No, because actually a lot of times you're playing as not even the U.S.
What are you playing as?
Russians.
Oh, you're
Yikes.
committing treason?
I mean, it
You're
really
killing
depends.
American soldiers?
You know, it depends on there's a 50-50 chance on most Call of Duties you're going to be playing as the Russians.
I mean, I developed some I bought one of those packages, those patches, to make sure that I was always an American.
I don't know what that is.
It's a patch
It's a bot.
A patch?
Yeah, it's called the
for good Boy Scouts.
the red, white, and bot. That's what it's called.
The red, white, and bot. That's interesting. I didn't know they had that.
Did you guys see today on HBO? They're showing all of Band of Brothers.
Oh,
It's on, isn't it just always on HBO?
I guess. I don't know, but they're just playing it straight through.
They're really emphasizing it today, though.
I woke up and just as soon as I opened my eyes, I threw it on, and it was just the beginning of it, and just was powering through having Band of Brothers on in the background the entire time. Did you know who was in Band of Brothers as a background actor? Not Tom Hardy, not Jimmy Fallon. There was another person that I noticed just watching it back.
Alec Baldwin.
That's not who I'm thinking of.
Vince Vaughn.
Young Osama bin Laden. Background actor.
No.
Yes.
That's just not
Yes.
true.
he
That's
can't
just
be in
not
the
possible.
background. He's too tall.
No.
Yeah, he's not a background actor.
Young, handsome Osama bin Laden.
Maybe his body was in the background, but his head was surely above the frame.
No, that's what they were looking for him while they were shooting it, and it was actually bin Laden was a background actor playing one of the boys from the Airborne.
I watched that documentary.
Same.
What'd you think?
I loved it.
I loved it too. I will say there was I feel like I knew most of it. You know what I was really interested in that I wish they talked about more was the stuff pre 9/11.
No, you should read The Looming Tower.
I've seen the show.
That's a dramatized show.
But they talk about the Kenya attack, they talk about the Yemen attack.
A
But
little
there's
bit.
a couple of they don't
If
talk
you're
about.
actually interested, that's Lawrence Wright. He's I think one of the best biographers of Middle Eastern history.
I'll read that. I will read that.
You could also read Black Flags.
Yeah, that's
but
the
that's
ISIS
more
one.
That's more ISIS. The Looming Tower is great. It's about the 19 hijackers.
Yeah.
15 of whom were Saudi.
Yeah.
You believe that?
No, it's crazy.
But somehow we're just in bed with the Saudis, I guess. I got radicalized by watching Charlie Kirk debate against a bunch of kids from...
That dude sucks.
But did you see
I
him?
hate that guy.
He went against a bunch of kids from... What's the famous British school?
Oxford.
Oxford.
Was it the Oxford Union, the debate club?
Maybe. I don't know. He was going head to head with all of them. And usually he's mowing down just
Yeah.
morons.
Yeah,
I
but
saw
then,
this clip too.
But then he went head to head with some dudes from Oxford, and they were fucking bodying
He was
him.
like, "Do you know that there's a genocide in the Southeast?" He's like, "I've read about Myanmar too.
yeah. He's like, contrary to you, Mr. Kirk, I know about Sudan.
I've done my research."
It was fucking amazing. It really tickled my fancy.
My favorite part of that documentary was the part where he's where I texted you guys about it, but the part where 9/11 happens and then they're like they put Bush in Air Force One and they have the jets out. That part
Yeah.
was because I was like, you never would think about it, but it's like that is obviously the safest place for them to be if the country's under attack.
But the
Yeah.
fact that
Get
the
him
other
in the air.
jets-
Yeah.
They said he took the steepest
Yeah.
descent. Yeah.
It's crazy.
The other jets were gonna
Throw themselves in front of
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I don't
Dive
think
in
that's
front
what they
of
were.
him.
I don't know if that's what they were gonna do. I think they have like
that's
rockets
a guy that
and
watched.
shit.
That's a guy that watched Independence Day
Yeah.
right before they filmed that documentary.
Yeah. When he said that, I was like, I don't think that's what their plan is. They have like the most high-powered.
No, it wasn't
military
Independence Day.
planes.
Was it Air Force One? Where there is a movie where a fighter jet intercepts
Star Wars,
the
maybe?
missile and takes it so that the president doesn't get killed, because I think it might be Air Force One.
Probably.
Think about Independence Day.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie is really unrealistic. You know, the
That movie's
president of the
really
United
bad.
What if
States.
Trump just got behind a fighter jet, just the wheel of a fighter jet? Because wasn't it the president
He
that
gets
went?
in a fucking fighter jet to go
Yeah.
fight at the end.
Yeah. Since I mean that's what it used to be though, I guess, if you really want to take it back in time.
What used to be?
Presidents used to be on the front lines.
Not while they were president. They're not kings.
It's crazy. That
Presidents used to
scene
be
was
brave.
nuts.
Yeah.
I got the chills when they did that. When they were up in the air.
I got the chills when they were talking about the Flight 93 passengers taking over the flight and saying, "We're going to crash this thing.
Mhm.
We're going to storm the cockpit."
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised they even I mean, I know that they thought to do that because they had found out about the other.
Had they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why?
Yeah. And I believe so. I'm pretty sure that's why, right? Didn't they hear about the other attacks?
Maybe some people, I mean, they played some of the voicemails that were going back.
Yeah, I think it was 2001. There was like TVs on planes and shit.
And then they were looking for him the
Right?
whole time, and he was just an extra in
No.
Band of Brothers.
There were
The
the
one
phones
TV.
that you could pull out of the seat rest,
Swipe
which
the
was
credit
another
card.
one of those things that our parents were like, if you so much as touch
Oh,
that phone,
yeah.
our entire college fund for you will be drained with a 1-minute phone call.
Yeah.
Though it was those mini bars in hotels.
Yeah. Those were big. Well, because they say those, it's like if you actually do touch them, you get charged.
And then ordering a movie at a hotel rental.
Yeah. I was at a hotel recently where the lady was like, just a heads up, it was like a nicer hotel. I forget. I was on the road somewhere and they
Citizen
were like,
M?
probably, yeah. And they were like, if you move the mini bar, you will be charged. They're like, it's weighted. So they can tell if you moved anything.
See, that challenge right there would immediately have me trying to do what Indiana Jones did, where I would find a similar weighted thing to the bottle of whatever Belvedere, and I would see if I could swap it as fast as possible.
Do you have and what if it's too heavy? You know, are they an alert? Do they owe you money if you put back twice as much Belvedere?
Exactly. Replace the nip with a Magnum.
That'll fucking show them. That'll
That
show the
will.
Citizen O. Idiots.
I went and saw Mission Impossible last night.
How was it?
Fun. Okay.
Playful?
Fun.
HBO is actually playing the Mission Impossibles right now. They are really fun.
This one was fun. I think that they benefit when they have some behind the scenes shots of the stunts that Tom Cruise has done. So we all know going in like, oh, this thing where he did this, he actually did this.
Yeah.
That motorcycle one from the previous one was such a big part of what drove the marketing for that movie.
That
Where
they
he
had to do it again.
rides the motorcycle off the cliff and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
parachutes.
He did it like 10 times or something
Yeah,
like
he did
that.
so many times.
What was the one where he broke his ankle?
He was on top of the ship with his arms straight out.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise. That's the name.
What was it though? He broke his ankle.
He was jumping across a building and he came up short and smashed his foot into the thing.
Damn.
And they had to suspend filming.
Those movies are such a blast.
They're fun.
Oh, some quirky British guy.
Okay, I have one gripe, which is that whoever's writing those movies, and maybe it's a different writer, but they adhere to this technique over and over and over again throughout the movie, which is that there's a room full of people. It could be the room that the president's in, or the room that Tom Cruise is in, and it's like a briefing or something, and they're laying out what the plan is, or why what they're facing is so problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person in the room takes a turn saying part of the sentence. So this is how it goes.
They popcorn it?
Like
They
it's
go
like
like
a
this.
yes
They-
and.
Imagine that it's not even that, right? Let's say that the three of us. Did you watch the Knicks game last night?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Knicks game last night?
Yeah.
Great. So let's say that. Let's just do this
The
for
second
fun.
half.
Yeah, great. Let's talk about the fourth quarter, right?
Okay.
What we're gonna do is we each get to say like a fragment of this, and this is what happens in Mission Impossible. Karl Anthony Towns was not having a very good game.
He didn't turn it on till the fourth quarter.
And then he showed up in a big way.
He was playing with 5 fouls, but
Those Indiana Pacers are pesky as hell.
And good.
and yet the Knicks held on for the win, pushing the series.
To 2 games.
To 1.
That is how so many scenes in Mission Impossible go.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
And it gets really annoying.
That's like anime. I never got into anime because the inner monologue pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Dude,
it would be like we would be having a conversation, and then in the show it would be like, Francis's shirt is striped today. Huh. It's just like the dude talk. It's just his thoughts constantly.
Yeah.
Sucks.
This gets so corny in these movies, and they do it in all of the Mission Impossibles, I think, or at least the last couple. But it's like the entity knows that the time is ticking down. Tick tock, tick tock, and that would mean the end of humanity as we know it. Says Ving Rhames. Rhymes.
Sounds like this movie sucked.
I don't know.
I mean, you definitely can't be watching it for the dialogue. You need to watch it for the ass whipping and like ski jumps.
You've got a lot more negative things to say about it than positive.
This thing, it was one of those things where like I didn't even notice it the first time it happened.
Yeah.
And then it happened probably 4 more times throughout the movie. And then I realized this has happened in every Mission Impossible movie. And I've never been in a room of 6 people where they played that fucking improv warm-up game.
Yeah.
Where like,
They
let's tell a
zip, zap,
story.
zop.
And, you got to build off what the previous person said. And we're all sharing the ball here.
I don't like movies or shows that have like a thing, like a little like, oh, this is our reoccurring thing.
Sure.
Or if you can notice it, it's too much.
Like, did you guys ever watch that Vince Vaughn show on Apple TV?
No.
The
But
new one, Bad
know-
Monkey.
No.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it.
There's a part of it where he says he'll like something bad will happen. And I think I've said this on the podcast before, but he'll be like, fuck nuts. And it like enrages me. Because you're watching and you're like, clearly this is like they're really trying to have this whole fuck nuts thing like take the show to the next level. Like they want people to be walking around and be like, fuck nuts.
Have like a fucking
Yeah,
t-shirt.
fuck nuts hats. Yeah, koozies from the show.
Say
Fuck
the line.
nuts.
Wait, you watch too?
Because no one says that. That's not a thing that people say.
No, I know.
You don't. It's not like it'll be like in the show. He'll find out that he just lost his job, and he'll be like, "Fuck nuts."
I could see.
And you're like, "Why?"
I could see the Apple executives like coming back with the
yeah.
script with like red line rewrites to the writer being like,
yeah.
I think we should hit him with another fuck nuts here. The writer's like, dude, that's the 7th time. I think that's a little too heavy handed. And the Apple execs are like, you don't understand. Next year we're putting out a new show called Fuck Nuts.
Yeah.
And it's actually going to be franchised with a package of corn nuts
Yeah.
that you can fuck.
That's literally what the
Fucking
show
nuts.
feels like. It's like I'm trying to think if there's any other shows that I can think of that have something like that.
Well, that show, The Big Bang Theory, he would say bazinga all the time, right?
Yeah, like a catchphrase.
Yeah. But that show, I mean,
And then they probably ended up selling a lot of shirts that said that on
they
it.
did.
Yeah, thousands, millions, probably.
It got syndicated into oblivion.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Those people were making $100 million
yeah.
per episode by
Yeah.
the end of that thing.
Yeah.
They're all
crazy.
so rich. Sheldon. What's Sheldon doing now? I don't think any of them can even get other jobs.
Wait a second. Is that show Young Sheldon a spin-off of
Yes.
The Big Bang? It
Yeah.
is?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. That's supposed to be a
Is
young
Sheldon
version
the
of Sheldon.
lead?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the bazinga guy. He's the weaponized
Oh.
autist.
I did not know that.
I haven't seen either of them.
I've never watched
But I
a
did know
single
that.
episode of that show. And I'm not saying that to be cool either.
No,
think
I
that's
just
cool.
never. I don't know anyone that watched it.
I've also never watched How I Met Your Mother, nor have I ever watched Parks and Rec.
Oh, Parks and Rec is great.
I know these are holes in my life.
I've never watched How I Met Your Mother either.
I had a family member that would watch, or a bunch of my family used to watch Big Bang Theory all the time. And then someone in the family stopped watching it because they pointed out that everyone was autistic in the show. And that shouldn't be a reason to stop watching it. Like, people are allowed to, autistic characters are allowed to be represented.
Yeah, not in your house though.
Look at The Last of Us. That girl's autistic.
We found out they were all autistic, so we went back to the office.
Wait till they find out about Michael Scott.
Yeah, I know. There's only 2 autists in the office.
Who's the other one?
Dwight.
Toby? What the fuck? They all might be autistic too.
No, I think it's just Dwight.
You don't think Creed and Meredith are?
No.
I think they definitely might be.
No, I think Meredith and Creed are both like alcoholics, aren't they?
Yeah, but that's not mutually exclusive.
I think that's nothing about them would point out that they're autistic.
I think that their lack of like social skills in like major situations would maybe point to that.
No, I think that's just like they're old and they're drunks. That's kind of the whole point, right?
I don't know. What do you think? Break the tie.
Well, I don't know. There's something wrong with them. And I don't know, but I don't know that I would say it's autism.
Yeah, but everyone knows people that you're like, oh yeah, that guy's fucking retarded, but he's not actually.
I think that Meredith is an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Creed is just
old.
He's always playing solitaire, so that would be a point in Roan's favor, right?
See?
Why? Solitaire's great.
You know, most sluts are autistic.
I think
too.
I've played solitaire for, I think when I was younger, I used to play for like 4 hours at a time.
Hairball.
With not even online, just with the cards. I
You
would
wanna
set
tell
it
him,
up.
Do
or
you think
should
that
I?
you are our shining example of someone who is decidedly not autistic?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm actually like one of the least autistic people on the planet.
Really?
Believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
And you guys are all autistic.
Who's you guys? Tyler is?
All 3 of you.
Don't even fucking lump in Tyler.
I was going everybody but me.
No, bro.
They say that the first step in knowing you're not autistic is admitting that you might be.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
sure
what gives
sign
you a
because
chance at it.
You're talking about people that have like addiction problems and like
I'm talking about psychopaths.
and and
I
like
was applying that as a
sociopaths.
joke
Yeah.
to that.
I heard if you
But
like,
it might work. They might be the same. Autistic people might not know they're autistic.
these days you find out by getting cast in a TV show. And then
Yeah.
someone will just tell you after the fact.
Do they make out on that show? Do they end up making out with each other?
In
Love on the Spectrum?
I was talking about The Last of Us. But the girl was told she was autistic by someone on the crew. They're like, hey, I'm pretty sure you're autistic. And she looked into it.
Definitely thought you were talking about Love on the Spectrum.
They do make out on the show. There's like a bunch of first kisses. And that's the only part that feels a little bit predatory about the show.
Uh-huh.
Because there's a dude filming with a $50,000 camera, 2
Yeah,
autistic
zooming
kids
in.
making out. Yeah.
And they like kind of like break the music. So it's just like,
Ew, gross.
Dude, one time
Nasty.
I'll never forget this. I was in the I was in the Union Square subway station and it was July.
Yeah.
So it was hot,
Yeah.
steamy, waiting for the train, right?
Yeah.
There was a couple teenagers
Mhm.
and they were of Latin origin.
Mm.
wait, like Rome?
Yeah, I'm a little lost on the Latin part as well.
Yeah. I went up to them and I was like, in pictura es puella romana nomine
Were
Corleone.
they speaking in tongues?
Etiam in pictura es
That's pretty good
Flavia es. No, they were couple kids that went to whatever they probably had just gotten out of school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing 16.
Couple punks.
Couple
Latin punks.
and acne riddled, kind of like peach fuzzy mustache on both of them.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And
2 mustaches sticking together like Velcro.
yeah, sweaty, kind of. Ugh. And they were making out so in a way that you could hear it above the trains. Dude, I couldn't look away. I was just transfixed. It was disgusting.
Have you ever done a show and there's been people making out in the crowd?
When we did San Francisco, we had to get those people removed because the girl had her hands down the guy's pants.
Yeah, in the front row.
They met at the show. They didn't even know each other. They were sitting next to each other.
And we only had one opener, and you went first.
And by halfway through my set, he was finger blasting her.
And that was like they had been seated for like 40 minutes probably at that time. So they moved quick.
They didn't and they can't speak. So, you know.
It was all hands.
What was the joke? Do you remember what you're talking about?
No, I don't.
Because if they get married, that could be like their wedding joke.
Yeah, instead of a song.
I gotta say,
they just listen to it on Francis's album.
No one's ever accused me of my material being particularly
arousing.
Yeah.
It's a romance novel of a joke.
But every time, the weird thing about, I don't know if this ever happened to you, maybe I just do it in a bad way, but every time I've ever had that, I don't know if I've ever had it during a headlining set, aside from when that was with you, but you were there and you addressed it before I got on. But I had it happen at the stand multiple times, and I remember I said something I was like, are you guys gonna... I was like, there's not a lot of people in here. You guys are making out. It's 1/3 of the crowd is making out. And every single time, it would just, no one would think it was funny.
Are you guys eating a peanut butter and jelly?
Super uncomfortable, and then I usually would bomb the rest of the set.
Well, what are you supposed to do? Just let them...
don't know. I guess you're just not supposed to acknowledge it.
Yeah, they think they're at a movie.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But it's like I'm sitting, like I'm above them, and I'm just watching them make out.
It's kind of freaky.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy for me to not acknowledge
it's
that.
Voyeuristic.
It's weirder for me to be up there and just to be watching that and just be like, anyways, you know, just go on with my set. Yeah, anyway, so I was at U-Haul the other day.
Excuse me.
Hey, guys.
The guy drops to his knees.
And they look at you and like, you're fucking nuts. They're like, the dude.
How about some privacy, buddy?
Yeah. Jesus Christ, bro. Putting me on the spot.
I'd tell you to get a room, but I kind of need you here.
Yeah. You guys aren't half the crowd.
That is freaky as hell. I was at I took my children to the doctor's office, and I saw a dog walking by. It was a seeing eye dog. A woman was guiding a blind guy, and she commented on the beautiful stroller that we have, and she started saying
the blind lady,
the seeing eye woman, also had the dog, and there was a guy, and she introduced us to the guy. He was like 75 years old, and she explained that he's also a twin, and that he had too much oxygen in the womb, so he's been blind his entire life.
Damn.
I didn't even know that was a thing, that you could be over-oxygenated. And we had just a lovely conversation with these guys. And then they went in, did their thing, and they were on their way out. They said bye to us, and I made a fatal flaw. I hit him with a, "Nice to see you." And I felt so fucking dumb, dude. I felt so fucking embarrassed.
Question. Why was the 75-year-old man seeing your pediatrician?
It wasn't a pediatrician.
Oh. It's a doctor specific to twins?
It was since one of them was, like one was up and one was down, traditionally with the one who's like feet down, you do at like between 6 to 8 weeks, you do an ultrasound to make sure their hips are good. So it was an ultrasound place.
Oh, so that guy was getting an ultrasound as well, presumably?
I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
Gotcha.
But I was just embarrassed to hit him with a "nice to see you" because he's never seen anything in his entire life.
Yeah.
I felt so fucking dumb.
Well, then there's even more of a reason for it. You're saying it was nice to see you. I'm going to keep it honest. It was nice to see you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold back.
No.
I just use "nice to see you" so interchangeably, or I use it instead of
"nice to meet you."
Right, because you don't know if you've met someone before, and it's become such a default that I always hit with a "nice to see you," but I can't be using it on a blind guy.
Yeah.
That's bragging.
Well, it would have been a lot worse if you had just said "nice to see."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was nice to be seeing.
Then you're rubbing it in. But you're specifically saying "nice to see you, sir."
And he was like, "Good looking out." Yeah, it was, but he was born in 19...
He's probably like, I hear that.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Daredevil?
Yeah, he probably heard me fucking thinking about the fact that he was Born like that. And he was 75 years old, though. He was born in 1950. So he just has gone 75 years of just not being able to see a damn thing, which I guess is better.
So he's always been blind.
Always been blind. He was loving it. The lady was just describing everything, play by play.
Too old. Too tired. Too blind.
I wonder what the life expectancy is for blind people, whether it's higher, the same, or lower.
Probably similar.
Why do you say that?
I could actually see it even being higher.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. I could see it being higher just because everyone's so... Well, people are just cautious, and there's kind of like a general like idea, like there's in society, if you see a blind person, you're not going to let them walk in front of a car.
Well, not only that, but my eyes have gotten me into a lot of trouble.
True.
Right.
If I were blind, I wouldn't be chasing destructive whores the way that I have.
That.
Huh?
You don't know about that.
Well,
fucking
I bet blind
Pacino
people
did.
In Scent of a Woman?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that was a fiction.
I'm getting a soap and water smell. That's what he says.
I bet blind people sin less.
That's what I think, yeah.
I think you'd be surprised.
Sin
Or I guess
less.
Pacino he didn't used to be blind.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably harder to exercise and eat good, though, if you're blind.
Really?
That's true.
To have like a lot of leafy greens.
I feel like the most important thing if you're blind is feeling physically good.
But like, how are you gonna even be on a treadmill?
Walk? You know how to walk?
Yeah, but it's like being in the straight line. Like I close my eyes on a treadmill for 20 seconds, I'm falling off the side of it.
Yeah, but you also haven't been blind for 75 years.
Do you think they walk in perfect straight lines?
I'm assuming they probably adapt pretty well on how to move.
I bet it's harder than you think.
They might need to keep their hands on the thing, which, as we all know,
Less
when you're doing an
exercise.
incline is less.
It's cheating. Yeah.
But you can do push-ups when you're blind.
You can do a lot of
exercises. You just need to do them naked so that you can use your penis to tell you when you've gotten close to the ground.
Yeah, you don't know if you're just
Otherwise,
gonna go
you'll
through the
smash your
floor.
face
Yeah.
into the ground. Yeah.
You probably have a pretty good idea of where you have good awareness.
You'd think.
Like, I think if your face is this close from the ground, you'd probably have a good idea. They just can't see. They can feel.
They can sense whether a light on a room is on or not through the pineal gland.
Really?
I could see it.
It's not like you can sense light or dark, but you don't know what light and dark are. But you know when a light is on through different glands in your brain.
So you do know what light and dark is? Because if you know if a light's on, you know
But
that's
like
light.
if you've never seen, it doesn't look dark. It doesn't look like anything.
It sounds like it does.
I mean, it's not me saying this; it's the blind folk.
But they're saying they know when it's light and dark.
Does their pineal gland also differentiate races of people?
Probably.
Would they be like, "Wow, Francis, you're looking particularly pale today"?
Oh, I wonder.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe. I think it's like if they were in like a blacked video, they would know. Like it's like more of a surrounding of darkness as opposed to just like a window being open or a shade being open and a little bit of sunlight getting in. Fascinating people, though, the blind folk.
This must be a blacked video. The production quality is so high.
Good God Almighty. What happened to the Jewel, brother?
I quit.
You're on some other shit?
Alrighty, let's talk about Rocket Money. When it comes to spending, sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind. That daily coffee habit, those streaming subscriptions, they add up fast without you even noticing. Rocket Money helps you spot those patterns so you can do something about them and keep more money in your pocket. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help cancel them. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when they use all the app's premium features. To cancel your unwanted subscriptions, cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your final goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/boydad today. That's rocketmoney.com/boy. rocketmoney.com/boy. No dad, just boy. BOY. rocketmoney.com/boy.
This podcast is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, the official ticketing partner of Son of a Boy Dad. I've been talking about it for a while. This Lil Wayne concert is looming. And I got the tickets right there from Game Time. I think I'm in the 8th row. I basically can just pick wherever I want to sit.
For
via
Wheezy?
Game Time. For Wheezy.
Dang.
He's going to be breathing on me.
Young Money Militia.
I'm going to just have the hot air coming from between his grill, just coming straight to my face. And it's all through the good folks over at Game Time. Game Time, you can do Game Time picks, so you sort out and they kind of weed out the best deals for you. And you can do pricing. You could kind of see exactly what the all-in pricing is going to be, how much it's going to cost. Game Time is the easiest way to get NBA playoff tickets. If you want to get NBA playoff tickets, the Knicks won the right to get one more game here at least, if they can take care of business. Maybe use Game Time. What was that face?
We'll see. We'll see.
I think it's going 7.
Well, it's at least going 5, so they'll come back one more game in Indiana. But if you're in Indiana, you could get a game out there. So check those games out. Buy the tickets today. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BOYDAD for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BOYDAD for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it?
Game time.
Cacophonous.
All right, let's take a minute to talk about Roe Sparks. Guys, if you are hoping to achieve harder, thicker erections, if you're hoping to have that all-night power,
full erection,
go again, round 2, round 3, this guy, wow, unbelievable ability to bounce back again and again.
Like so full, like an Italian nonna overserved your erection. Like she kept on being like, "Oh, some more lasagna."
Yeah, you ever see a bagel with way too much cream cheese on it?
Yes, that's how you want your
Think
erection.
of that. Roe Sparks are a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections. They hit the bloodstream faster because they dissolve under the tongue. That's kind of a nice feature. And getting harder faster means having more sex. After they dissolve, they work in 15 minutes on average. I'll be honest with you guys. I have not been having very much sex lately, but that doesn't mean that I haven't been taking Roe Sparks for my own personal pleasure. And I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying it. I'm having the time of my life with myself.
Go to a rave, throw a Roe Sparks under your tongue, and just kind of feel hard.
Walk around with a pant full of bone. That's kind of nice.
Bone and ribeye.
Everyone thinks you work at the concert because they think you have a flashlight in your pants.
But it's your hard cock.
That's right. Roe Sparks are a prescription ED treatment that contains sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis. They work in 15 minutes on average. And that's on average, okay? So it could be more, could be less.
It'll be about 15 from my experience.
Also, by the way, it's 15 minutes after the medication dissolves under the tongue. So once the medication dissolves, Roe Sparks work in 15 minutes on average.
And then the lightest breeze will get you going.
Yeah. Guys, if you want better sex for both partners, give Roe Sparks a try. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with a provider at ro.co/son to find out if prescription Roe Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/son for $15 off your first order.
I forgot mine at home.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a big step for getting it.
Yeah, I guess.
I would say that that's progress.
I don't think so. I forget it all the time.
And then what happens?
Buy a new one, which I didn't do.
How much are they?
I don't know. It really depends.
You go through one a day?
On where you're at. A Juul?
Yeah.
There's pods.
Right.
The actual battery lasts forever.
You go through a pod a day?
Depends on the day.
But
sometimes.
Average?
Memorial Day? We'll see.
Big time.
You never know.
You wake up early to set your You set your alarm so you can hit one.
10 episodes of Band of Brothers. You better believe. Battle
I'm going
Best
through a
Stone.
whole case tonight. Whole case of Juul pods.
Fucking Winters, bro. That guy was a legend.
I know. He would have loved the Juul.
You imagine if they had jewels over there,
Yeah.
giving like a bunch of jewels to the German soldiers before you mow them down.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Can you guys do you guys know the ranking or the hierarchy of leadership
Not
in
even
the army?
Like literally not even close. Every day I learn a new one. There's 7,000 of them.
There are a lot,
It
but
goes general, captain.
Nope.
Really?
No.
There's more.
There's like 18 between general and captain.
Yeah, but I think if you were to excluding like, the whatever, the sub ones within the general tier.
I'm thinking of a Reed Dallas freestyle where he's like, Reed, he the general, Rain, he the captain. So I just thought that was the kind of order that I thought it went in.
Do you know it, Francis?
I don't, but colonel is above captain.
Yeah.
Colonel sounds
And then
goofy as hell.
I know. Like lieutenant colonel.
Just leave me a captain, all right? Don't make me fucking wear colonel on my fucking shirt.
Colonel is lieutenant above captain?
Lieutenant is usually a sub of a denotation of each of those ranks. I think lieutenant colonel is above colonel.
And isn't it different branch to branch?
It is. So that's the tricky part. But within the army, which is Band of Brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they're paratroopers? Is that army? Air Force? Airborne?
This is so
I think it's
disrespectful
army.
on Memorial Day. For
I
us
think
to
it's
do them
army.
like
I
this.
think
it's
they're in the
army, yeah.
Aren't they Marines?
Are they Marines?
I thought they were, but they might not be. I have no
Fuck,
idea.
man, we are exposing ourselves.
I've never claimed.
So this
to know.
this would be my guess. Pull up the army one, okay, Roan?
Yep.
This would be my guess. You have corporal at the beginning, maybe corporal,
Private.
Okay.
private, corporal, then maybe like sergeant.
So you missed one. You missed private first class. So it's private first class, specialist, corporal, sergeant.
Oh, I did well with that. Okay, sergeant. Then above sergeant is,
There's like 4 different sergeants.
yeah, okay, but ignoring that, right? Because there's like gunnery sergeant.
Do you think if you're in the military, you know all this?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for your branch.
Yeah, probably.
Certainly.
Staff sergeant,
Yeah,
sergeant first class.
but then above sergeants is captain, I think, and then major.
I think it's saying in the Army that it just goes. These are all sergeants. So it's sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, master sergeant, sergeant major of the Army,
Oh shit!
and that's all.
And then that makes me think Band of Brothers is not, because it was captain winners and then major winners.
Yeah.
And then he was colonel.
Oh wait, that's enlisted.
Then it was
And then if you're officer, then it can go second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain,
lieutenant,
major,
captain, major.
lieutenant colonel, colonel, brigadier general, major general, lieutenant general, general, and then 5-star general.
They are
of the
airborne.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh?
Band of Brothers, they are airborne.
Which is what? Army? We didn't.
We
that's
knew they
what we
were
didn't know.
airborne. God, we're
I love
so
that stuff.
disrespectful.
I think airborne is Army. Airborne Army. Yeah, it is.
Okay, good.
Glad we got that. Glad we got that
Boy,
straightened out,
some
because I was
people
getting a
out
little
there
uneasy.
listening right now.
People
We're
are
just like
fucking-
fucking.
Pissed.
Oh man, I gotta join up. It's about time.
No.
It's about time for me to quit these games.
You ever get close?
It's a little sunshine. Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I got close.
I had COVID over the 4th of July week 2 years ago, and I was on the website.
I
on the
walked
US
into
Army
a
website.
recruiting office.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Just
And-
because you saw a chance to do pull-ups.
Yeah.
I walked into a recruiting office, and I remember where the fuck I was out in like LA, and we were in this mall, and I walked into a recruiting office, and there were all these young guys in there, and they were looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing in here?" And I was like, "I'd be interested in,
What was going on in your life?
You guys have any pamphlets or anything like that?"
Did you have like a bad set or something? Or
No, I was 21. I was a senior in college, and I was doing it was in between my fall semester and my spring semester. I'd gotten a fellowship to go out to LA to look around at like the entertainment industry.
Yeah. I remember you telling us about that.
I didn't really like it that much, and I didn't know what to do with my life. And so I was like, well, I've always really admired the military.
you saw Harvey Weinstein and you were like, this guy gets all the pussy?
I know.
I need to get out of here. I need to join up.
I think joining up would not be a bad idea for me. Like, I think if I just shipped off for 4 years, you guys took care of the podcast, I come back in 4 years.
I think that would really do good things for you.
But what if I was just like a hard ass when I got back?
I think that'd be great.
I think you'd be disaffected. I think you'd be like, it's all bullshit anyway.
Like, do you think we could just pick up from where we left off? I just had more interesting stories.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I know.
That's what people wanted you to do early on.
Oh, yeah.
When people were like, get some life experience. Why don't you fucking go to Kuwait?
Oh, man, I would be such an interesting person.
A lot of my friends...
If I was a comedian and then I joined the military and then I went back to Barstool after.
You reversed? You did a Tillman?
We'd just be having a casual conversation. I'd be like, dude, that reminds me of when I was in Iraq. And
you're like, dude, I was bombing the other day. We're like, what kind?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that, dude? Is that what that was? You,
dude? I was actually in Kuwait. So this was 6 months ago. I was in Kuwait, and
we were clearing a house.
I'm so much more interested in the stories that you're telling.
I'm not surprised. It would be sick.
I swing around the corner, and it's this grandmother.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I'm gonna have to fill her with lead.
I'm like, is that a lasagna under her shirt, or does she have a bomb strapped to her? So I shoot her, and it was a lasagna.
Yeah.
You got to join up.
One of us is gonna have to.
Those guys at that recruiting center I went to looked at me crazy. And
Did you tell them where you went to school?
Well, that's the thing. They were like, are you in college? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, then you need to go to the officers.
Yeah, they were probably like, this is bullshit.
There was another recruiting office a few doors down that was for officer training school.
Oh,
so if you have a college degree, you go to college, you go to officer training school.
Yeah, that happens in Band of Brothers. Remember the dude from West Point shows up, and he's an officer.
Yeah,
and they're all like, "This fucking kid." It's what's his name? Hanks. Colin Hanks.
It is funny that you get to become an officer and have to do less just because you like partied for 4 years.
Yeah.
Just because you went to frat parties at Penn State.
Yeah.
You earned your stripes.
Pretty insane to think that Chet Hanks is more well known than Colin Hanks.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Colin Hanks. I mean, in Band of Brothers, I know that's the character he's supposed to play, but he sucks.
He's stiff.
Everyone hates him.
But Chet Hanks crushed it in Band of Brothers.
Is he in it?
When he was like, Rastaman! Badman from the 45th Airborne!
He crushes it in Curb. You ever see that one where he plays the U.S. soldier?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen
the one that gets PTSD?
No, he comes back and they're having like a dinner or something, and Larry David's there, and he's one of the dates.
He's expecting him to be like, thank you for your service.
And everyone's thanking him for the service, and then Larry goes, nice to meet you.
Chet Hanks?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But isn't it at the end of that one, don't they have the like music and stuff at the golf course?
Yeah,
and he gets the PTSD.
I don't really remember. I just remember that one scene.
Maybe I'm mixing up episodes.
Bravo company, stand up.
Dude, he was in Your Honor. Did you ever see that show?
No.
Yes, I like that show. Or I like the first season of that show.
Yeah.
An introspection of the beautiful city of New Orleans.
Bryan Cranston.
That guy can't fucking miss.
Have you guys been watching The Studio?
I only watched the first 3. I gotta pick it back up.
So good. Cranston kills it in the last episode.
I'm having a hard time fucking sticking with anything, man. I can't.
Don't say that, bro.
I'm talking about shows. I just can't see them. I can't even watch them.
Dude, these episodes are like 25 minutes long.
I don't care. I don't give a shit. I need a show that is so captivating that I won't look at my phone or feel the need to change to something else, and I can't find that.
The Looming Tower.
Lord of the Rings, The Looming Tower.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. You
I
got
watched
Hulu?
it.
Oh, you've seen it? I
Mhm.
thought you just read the book. I'm definitely going to read that book, though.
Yeah.
Gonna have to crack that open. Gonna
How-
get busy this summer.
How many books you think you're gonna hit this year, if you had to guess?
I don't know. I just ordered. Well, I already started reading it, but I got the hard copy version of. Fuck. What is the book?
I know that
The
you're
Art
gonna
of
put up
Living.
double-digit books.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Art of Living.
What's that?
So it's like a meditation book by a monk. Showed up the other day. I'm gonna show you the box that it was in. This is what it showed up in. Have you ever heard of this book, The Art of Living?
I don't
I think
know.
so.
This is the box that it showed up in.
It looks like a coffee
The
table.
book was in the corner on the bottom.
Why is it? Why is it that big?
I have no idea.
How much for shipping?
$75.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And the book was only $19.
What the fuck?
I don't understand. You paid $94 for a book?
Yeah.
Why?
Came in that big ass box.
I'm not sure.
Can you get it on Kindle?
Yeah.
Do they have a big ass Kindle?
I don't think you need a big ass Kindle.
Why do they do that? It's a marketing ploy.
No, I'm kidding. It's that it didn't come in that box, but I did order the book, and then it did cut. And then I showed up the next day, and there was a box with that said "The Art of Living," and it was massive. And I took a photo of it. You guys missed it. I already hit those boys with it.
No, I saw it in the chat, but I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. Just like
Did I send it to you guys too?
Yeah, I was just giving you a gracious
Did you see it?
audience.
No.
So when did I send it?
I don't know. Do you want me to find it in my texts?
No, you don't have to.
I went to DC this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
You hit the Smithsonian?
No.
What'd you hit?
Jewish Museum?
No, I didn't hit much. We went to a nice dinner to celebrate my dad's birthday.
Oh, yes, yes.
How did that letter come out that you wrote for your papa?
Well, I ended up not writing anything, and I spoke extemporaneously.
Which
Off
he
the dome?
would respect that.
He did.
Off the top?
Yeah.
Did you have like a specific story you were trying to tell, or was it just a waxing poetic of ball washing of your father?
It was a nice thing because we had sort of talked about his career a little bit. That was sort of what we were remembering and thinking about. And then my sister gave a speech, and then I gave a toast, and I said that my dad is the only person I really know who, as his career really started to take off and do better and better, he was home more.
Yeah.
He was like, the better he did in his work, the more present he was in our lives. My dad, when I was in 7th grade, I went to a school in Maine called Waynfleet.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a very progressive private school. Super, super like liberal, kind of funky, whatever. Artsy, maybe.
Funky.
And sports were not a fucking priority at all.
Yeah.
And yet my buddy Michael and I were pretty good athletes.
Yeah.
And we were big. We were big dudes. And
big as hell.
We could compete. We would play against all the public schools in soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. And we could kind of compete with them because Michael and I were big. Yeah. And we played, travel and all that stuff for all those sports. And we had a huge rivalry with Freeport. That was where I was from. Mm-hmm. And all those kids, Danny Mailer, Luke Charest, there were a couple other. There was
Brennan
Eric something,
Thomas Leonard,
who else? Luke Garradini, I think. Either way,
Gardini,
Dave Gambone.
No, either way, these kids they all played travel together. Mm-hmm. away from school.
Yeah.
So they were like trained. They were a unit and they were good. Danny Mailer was tough as nails.
Tough as nails.
Tough as nails.
Dude was special.
He was. Danny Mailer, tough as nails.
Long stick midi.
He didn't even play lacrosse, but he played soccer and he played basketball, and he was a problem on the basketball court. Big guy.
Guard.
Huge.
Big guy. No,
Shooting guard.
No, forward.
Of
Really,
course.
and
Got to
like,
take care of that. You got to
stayed
use
in
that
the
size
paint.
as an advantage.
Yeah, stayed
Yeah.
in the paint. I think he wore the Lou
Angel
Alcindor
Reese
Rec
numbers.
specs.
What?
He wore the Kareem Rec specs.
Really?
Yeah.
Handsome as hell.
Well, anyway, the point is that we would play
The
them. and
goggles?
I would get so almost sick before these games because I cared so much. And my dad, when we went to play basketball, we had a coach who was like the math teacher, and this guy didn't know shit from fucking
Cock.
shingles.
Yeah.
You know, we had anyone who signed up for the basketball team played basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would sub 5 in and 5 out.
Oh.
Like hockey line changes?
Yeah.
No game plan.
Well, we'd be like in a game and contending, and then it's like, all right, everybody, next group up, purple group.
Yeah.
Go ahead, purple group.
Yeah.
And then fucking all of our dweebs would go out, and Danny Mailer would drop his nuts all over their fucking foreheads.
You're like Jokic.
And you're like, okay, well now we're down 30,
Yeah.
and I don't think we're coming back from this.
Didn't that happen in the last round of the playoffs? When like every time Jokic would go off the court, they'd go down by like 20. He'd take like 2 minutes off.
I didn't even watch
down by
that
20.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gotta suck.
Well, the point is
I was
that-
never that kid. I was never good enough to be like, if I was back out there though. For the
Yeah.
most part, it was like keep him off. If we
Yeah,
want
I'd
a
be on
chance
the
at
purple
this.
squad.
Yeah.
I get in and
You were a
like, the
purple
lead would
line.
evaporate. And I'd be like, well, I really wanted to play. So thank you guys for letting me in. I know we're pissed that we lost.
Yeah. There was always a moral. It was always like, well, we lost, but you know, the important thing is that we had fun or that everybody
Yeah.
played. It was sports socialism. You know,
Yeah.
that's what it was. So we had 1 or 2 games at the beginning of the season, and I remember somehow my Michael and I convinced my dad that he should be our coach.
Oh wow.
And the math teacher didn't care. You know,
No.
I think they were paying him $75 for the season. That was his salary to coach the basketball team. He's like, yeah, please relieve me of this duty.
Yeah.
So my dad came in, and then my dad was able to schedule 2 additional games against Pine Tree Academy,
Mhm.
which was the Seventh-day Adventist school,
Yeah.
And
Easy
then-
W.
some other school, so that he could load up the playing time for our dweebs.
Mhm.
And therefore their parents wouldn't write letters to the school. And he explained all of this
Yeah.
and played those kids. And then that allowed him to
Win the big games.
keep me and Michael in longer and give us more playing time against Freeport and against...
Well,
you
why
know.
can't you and Michael just get the brunt of the minutes and then rotate everybody in those other 3 spots?
Because we had John Watson was solid. Hillman Norberg was okay. Ben Bornstein, solid.
There's no way Hellman Norbert was good.
Hillman was pretty good from deep.
Dude was trash.
Hellman Norbert?
God, when we got Joe Stockmeyer in 8th grade, man, because he came over from King Middle School.
Did they ever bring kids in to your high school?
Well,
There
were a
some
bunch
shady,
that came
some shady
in.
stuff. All of a sudden, the coach has some new roommates. We had that a couple times. All of a sudden, the coach would have like 6 black dudes living with him.
We did not have that. No.
We did. All the other schools would be like, well, yeah, St. Joe's Prep recruits.
Like out of nowhere. They'd be like, we got a new student in class. Jacked dude, 7 feet tall. You're like, he's clearly 30 years old.
That's not who we recruited. In our place, it was like, oh, the art teacher now has 6 new like
Oh yeah.
sound therapists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a
Finger
sculptor.
painting prodigies.
Someone just rubbing the outside of a bowl.
All of a sudden, the chess team needs a translator for the 4 new recruits we got
Yeah.
from the former Soviet bloc.
Yeah.
So anyway, we. Why did I bring this up?
Because you were saying how your dad.
Oh yeah, my dad ended up coaching my basketball team, and he definitely coached lacrosse because he had played lacrosse in college, and then in 8th grade he ended up coaching all 3: soccer,
Really?
basketball, lacrosse,
Full-time job.
which sounds which sounds like an overbearing parent, but it wasn't that at all. We begged him to do it.
Yeah.
And he made it fun.
Yeah.
And, it was amazing. It was amazing to have him do that.
It is wild that sometimes one athletic dad becomes the dad of the entire neighborhood or the whole school.
Was your dad very athletic?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he played football and lacrosse at Amherst College.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine who's played college football was visiting me this past weekend, and he was saying that the other kids, like the moms in the neighborhood, will be like, "Can you teach Timmy how to swing?" Which has to be brutal for their actual dads.
Oh, yeah.
That they're just outsourcing it to like the hot athletic dad in the neighborhood. That he's just going to be the one who's like getting behind your kid's hips, teaching them how to swing a baseball bat.
I would be so furious. If
I would just rather the kid be bad at sports than to have be father cucked.
Get cucked by someone else's dad.
Yeah, that's so insane.
Imagine.
Yeah.
That'd be
Imagine
so
like
shitty.
7 years from now, your wife's like, we're going to bring someone else in to teach him how to throw.
Yeah, we got a throwing coach. It's like throwing is the most fundamental thing.
Yeah.
They might need it, but I mean, it's like, that's fine. That'll be DJs. That's fine. I'm 100% fine with them being DJs.
Let's get him on the ones and twos early.
Yeah, that's the only way.
We had some battles in middle school. I remember my middle school athletic career better than I remember my high school.
Yeah, same, because I didn't have a high school career.
One time we played Freiburg Academy, and it was in a game where, for whatever reason, the better players, this was before my dad was coaching. So it was like at this time we had different blocks of like the team. There were like 15 dudes on the team, and the block that had all the other good players was sitting out this game.
Yeah.
And
so Freiburg, you're playing against them.
Freiburg was solid. They were solid. We lost the game 36-34, right?
Yeah.
Some fat kid on Freiburg threw up a over-the-shoulder blind prayer from the elbow that bounced all high off the rim, just like Tyrese Halliburton's game tire, and dropped in at the buzzer to beat us 36-34. I scored 32 of our 34 points.
Against Freiburg, it must have been so nice for that little Augustus Gloop boy to have that moment in the sun, though.
I knew it was special because I overheard their coach before the handshake line telling their players to make a special effort to congratulate me. And they were like giving me hugs.
Yeah.
They're like, I've never seen someone score so many of his own team's points. And I was passing.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it.
Well, I would bring the ball up the court, I would pass it to
yourself?
someone, and then they would pass it back, and then I would drive. Yeah.
They were dishing it off to you.
Yeah.
That's why you wanted your dad to be coach.
I
He's
think
like, get it back to my boy. Get it back to my son.
Yeah, I got to hear this story from another perspective. Fucking Francis was glued to the court.
Guess who?
Couldn't get him off.
Guess who scored the other two?
Who?
Hillman Norberg.
Oh.
Yeah. Ask him.
Good for him.
Ask him. So anyway, I realize I'm getting old because now I'm starting to regale people who have no interest with my tales of heroism
days
from fucking middle school. How pathetic is that?
Well, maybe they're retelling the stories too. Maybe
I don't think so.
Maybe they're telling it like Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game.
See that guy who's on that host of Son of a Boy Dad?
32 out of 36.
Score 32 out of 34 points.
Yeah.
At 34.
Out of 34.
We still lost at the buzzer though. Freiburg Academy.
Freiburg.
They probably have like your name up on a banner.
I don't think so.
At Freiburg.
Because I didn't stay through high school at Waynefleet.
But
I
at
switched.
Freiburg, they might.
Yeah, they probably
were
did.
that was at Waynefleet. We did that at Waynefleet.
Freiburg probably took the whole team out for matzo ball soup afterwards.
Yeah.
Took the whole team out for latkes.
I don't think it was a Jewish school, actually. Sounds like it, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
We also played Poland, which is famous for the spring.
You played Poland?
Poland,
Poland Spring.
Maine. That's where Poland Spring is from. That was
because
a
lot of
team we
people
played.
think it's in Poland.
Right.
I always did.
Do they just have big ass water jugs?
Let's put it this way:
They're
that
the
team
most
was
hydrated.
hydrated. They could run for fucking days.
Yeah.
They called
just get it
timeouts so
straight
their
from the
players
spring.
could go take pisses.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Wow, I really didn't know that was in the United States. Let me find out that Fiji water is from Fiji, Maine.
Maine is filled with it's got to be the laziest state as far as naming our towns. There's a Paris, Maine.
Yeah.
There's so many fucking towns named after like elite European cities. Where you're like, dude,
there's also a lot of...
We don't even have a post office in Paris, Maine.
Also in New England, like so many towns have the same name.
Yeah.
Plymouth.
There's a lot
75
of
Plymouths in Maine alone.
Why?
I don't know.
Because the Plymouth Rock?
I guess.
There's Falmouth. There's a bunch of Falmouth. There's a Falmouth, Massachusetts, Falmouth, Maine.
Apparently the Plymouth Rock was ranked #1 worst
destination.
Yeah.
Really? I went when I was a kid. I remember thinking it was okay.
It's pretty bad. It's smaller than this table.
Yeah, smaller than the box you got for your book.
Yeah.
Huh.
Tiny ass
And
rock.
yeah, it's not great.
Oh, speaking of tables, if there are any stonemasons out there listening, I am in desperate need of a new dining table. I need someone who knows their way around stone. I'd like a stone table. If there's anyone who knows how to operate stone or tables of any kind,
I have a friend named Mark Jupiter who might be able to help you.
Now we're talking.
Is he a stonemason?
He does like a lot of live edge wood, but he could probably do stone.
He could probably work stone.
Do people who work live edge wood know their way around stone?
If you know live edge wood, they say picking up stone is... It's like transitioning from a clarinet to a saxophone.
I was going to say guitar to sort of mandolin or banjo. Similar
it's the
family.
foundation piece that you just build all of your knowledge of carpentry off of. I guess it's not carpentry. I guess it's masonry.
Masonry.
But you need a new table? What was wrong with your old table?
Well, this is from my place upstate. And I am having a banquette built.
Really? A little breakfast nook?
A nook.
That sounds so nice. That's such a nice way to maximize a tight area.
Big nook guy, yeah.
Because you can't put a table up against the wall like that unless there's a built-in nook.
That's right. It's going to be cozy as all hell.
Like a booth?
A booth.
That's going to be sick.
Right?
I got to get a booth.
I'm excited.
Maybe I'll blow out my kitchen and make it a booth.
Just a single booth.
Yeah.
One booth?
John Wilkes.
Booth Bay Harbor?
Yeah.
That would be so nice.
Something
you don't
to
need
consider.
your kitchen. Your kitchen's such a fucking waste.
It is. It's a waste of space.
Or just make it a loft.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Wipe it.
Put a booth on the top. That'd be so nice. What made you settle on stone?
The colors of my place. I think stone's kind of the one. Well, I have a marble countertop, but I don't have I have so much wood that to do a wood table feels it's going to get a little
What
too
is it,
woody.
a log cabin?
Pretty much.
Exactly. Got to add some stone. So anyways, just to clarify, we are looking for a stonemason. If there's any stonemasons that listen to the podcast,
Unless Mark Jupiter can help you.
please reach out.
Unless my close friend Mark Jupiter can.
What are you trying to get the stonemason to do? Just come do
Look,
some measurements.
if there's a stonemason who just has some excess piece of slab, a nice slab of some limestone or something like that, maybe something that has like a little bit of a chip in it, where he's like, "Well, I can't use that."
Yeah.
Listen, I don't mind a chip. In fact, I think it adds character. Okay.
But if it's like straight rock, like, are you looking for more of a marble or like rock?
I want rock. I want a table that weighs 4 billion pounds.
It's gonna be tough to like do anything on that.
I want to get a table that requires like a crane.
like if you have like dinner
Lifted
on
through the
it, like your
window.
plate's gonna be all uneven.
No, it's a flat stone. It's going to be nice and smooth.
Well, you're saying you're asking for secondhand stone here. You're
Okay,
asking
well,
for some.
sure, there's going to be a little bit of a crack or notch, maybe, but hopefully that'll be on the underside. Well, even if it's just a chip that's right there on the front, it's noticeable.
All right, how
somewhere.
thin are we talking? I'm picturing a thick slab.
I'm picturing a
of stone.
rock, a boulder.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a boulder with like an iron pipe holding it up.
That's kind of what
I
I'm
want the
seeing,
base
too.
to be stone,
Yeah.
and I want the top to be
Got
stone.
it.
Or
This
you
sounds
could-
like an expensive table.
I found one.
This sounds like a table that people would be like, "How do they even make
I
this?"
found a bunch on Etsy that are like $1,500.
That's cheap stone.
Probably. I'm not trying to like.
You want obsidian.
Hmm?
You're looking for obsidian, an obsidian slab.
Yeah, onyx. Maybe.
What about concrete?
Concrete's definitely cheaper. I would think about concrete. Concrete's kind of cool.
But it's just you pour it.
I'd rather
kind
have
of boring.
stone. I want
Yeah,
stone.
you don't want concrete.
Concrete's nice.
You know what I like about stone? Here's what I like about stone. On a hot day, you're sitting there, you're
Cold.
working on your computer, you put your forearms down on the stone, and you cool off.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't like about stone. You like roll your ankle a little bit in your living room, you trip and you fall, and then the stone goes through your forehead when you fall down.
Yeah,
and
true. That is true.
You can't live if you fall onto stone.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
But I mean, it is
Concrete too, though.
plausible
I mean,
deniability.
Well, I've got renter's insurance.
Smoke someone's head off of it or something
True.
like that, and it's like, oh, they fell. They hit the stone.
I have renter's insurance.
you gotta do something about that stone.
Another
Keep on hitting their heads
positive.
on it.
You could put a sword right in the middle, and
True.
maybe only the strongest local
That's cool.
could pull
Yeah,
it out.
but it's just a secret hatch underneath, but you're the only one that knows about it to release the sword.
Right.
So you have a bunch of people come over and everyone tries to lift the sword and then you go in.
Or I have whoever can do it gets some kind of a prize, right? Fuck my wife, whatever.
Yeah.
And
a shot.
and then when it's finally the guy I actually want to watch
Hmm.
do that, I'll hit the button.
Okay.
Oh my God. Andre. Wow, what your lucky day. You pulled that right out.
Oh, so easy.
You've been lifting?
Mr. Ellis, why is your foot on the lever right there?
This? Oh no. This thing? No way, Andre.
If you want me to fuck your wife, you just ask.
All right.
Pervert ass Andre.
Oh,
I gotta
that's
get
it?
out of here.
Okay,
Well, we've been
cool.
going for over an hour and 20.
I was having fun.
Yeah, I was just having a good time.
Oh, it's Memorial Day.
Yeah, right.
I
True.
gotta go pay respects.
Yeah, maybe you study up on the military, bone up on the organizational structure of the Navy or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Shout out to my grandpa, fought in fucking D-Day, Omaha Beach.
Really?
Yeah, brother.
My grandfather was Admiral Kincaid's flag lieutenant.
It's fuck, buddy.
All right, you watch out now. You watch your damn mouth. These are the troops. These are the troops.
All right.
All right, thanks, that son of a boy dad. Come see me in Chicago. Come see me in Chicago. I'm at Rosemont, Zanies, all weekend, June 7th, 8th, 9th weekend. And check out Tires on Netflix, season 2. Pick tickets for that are at punchup.live/Francis Ellis.
Sweet.
And I have Knoxville coming up and Oshkosh. I'm going to be in Oshkosh.
Knoxville's right around the corner. All right.